So you get deployed to Vietnam. What's your mission? What are you supposed to be doing as a SEAL over in Vietnam?
Uh, our primary targets were high-value Viet Cong infrastructure, tax collectors, uh, uh, trainers, advisors, stuff like that. We weren't really interested in just killing run-of-the-mill Viet Cong, that's however what I got into trouble doing was chasing down a guy called Captain Mock, who came out of Cambodia and would raid into Vietnam at Ha Tien. But yeah, the mission was basically psyops. You know, they the CIA would have us look for certain people,
Hmm.
and if we could capture them, they would interrogate them, try to turn them. Uh, that was the primary thing they were sending us for. We weren't looking to engage a battalion or anything.
Yeah.
So we were out of our element. If we were fighting any more than 20 or 30 people, we were in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
We had to call for help to bail us out.
SEAL Team 2, tell me how many total guys you had at that time that were with you.
I've heard varying numbers, but it was between 200 and 250.
Okay. Okay. So you get stationed in Vietnam. What's your day in, day out like? Are you going out? Do you doing ops every day? You doing night
Yeah,
stuff? What are you doing?
yeah. We only went out at night,
Okay.
and if we got overstayed for some reason, like an ambush or something in the daylight, we were very cautious to get out of there before we got compromised because, like I said, if they brought a lot of people in, they were going to win,
Mm-hmm.
and we could almost tell when that was going to happen because when we hit them when they were unexpecting it, they would break and run invariably. If they stayed and fought, they knew they had more people than you did.
Mm.
So you had to beware of that and try to get out of there. And that's where we were. We were always had the sea wolves on call to come and bail us out. To fly in there and give us some air cover so we could get back to a canal and get a boat and get on a boat and get out of there.
And can you explain to the audience who are the Sea Wolves?
Sea wolves were HAL 3, Helicopter Attack Light 3, which was a helicopter squadron that they put up just for Vietnam. They got old tired Army Hueys and built them into gunships, and they put 50s and M60 machine guns on them, and a few of them had miniguns, but those were later birds. I never saw a minigun on a HAL 3 bird when they were there, but
Okay.
they were basically on call to support the SEAL team. And then of course we had the riverboat guys that delivered us on the rivers and canals, and we also had riverboat guys driving a SEAL specific boat. Well, we had several, but when I was there, the SEAL support boat was called an LSSC, Light SEAL Support Craft. It had two Ford 427 V8s in it, and it was pumping on two jacuzzi pumps. And it would do 50 knots over about 3 inches of water.
Wow.
So that was, the boat had no guns. The SEALs in the boat were the guns. So once the SEALs bailed off the boats, they were pretty much defenseless except for, an M60 machine gun or two that they would have on the boats. But that was the concept that we would, if they got attacked by somebody, the SEALs in the boat would defend them.
So when you would go out on operations, RJ, what was your typical? You have a sidearm and a rifle. I mean, tell me what you were normally carry day to day.
Yeah. I had a Smith & Wesson Model 39 9mm pistol and a shoulder holster. I had the Stoner 63A submachine gun or machine gun. It's a 5.56 with a 100-round drum in it, and those guns were only given to SEALs. No other military unit ever had a Stoner except SEALs. I carried a standard Navy K-bar, which Navy fighting knife.
Yeah.
We had always carried a K-bar with a emergency flare on it. So if you were out in the water and at night and a boat was coming to pick you up, you could pop that flare and they could see you in the water and not run over you. So I carried 600 rounds of ammo on my bandoliered around my body, and I carried a 100-round drum in the gun. So I was loaded up. I was carrying 700 rounds.
How about your handgun? How many rounds you have there?
I had 2 mags, in the gun. One spare mag,
Yeah.
one in the gun.
Okay. Can you, if you can say, in Vietnam, what area did you operate in?
Well, we were basically in the, around the Mekong Delta, and all over it. There was no particular area that we were assigned to. The big kind of zone that if you were caught in there, there was going to be shooting was called the Plain of Reeds, and we went there several times. Actually, we never ran into anybody there. So, but we would get intelligence that there would be a tax collector, for instance, coming in on a certain night to a certain village, and we would set up an ambush and try to either capture or kill him. One time we had set up for an ambush on what they called Snoopy's Nose, and the canal, we would set up on the canal basically at low tide at first darkness, and then the tide would come in, and the tide was the highest is when they would come in the dark. When the tide was the highest, they would move their sampans through, and we saw a sampan coming, and we didn't do anything because we thought perhaps there was something else, because the first sampan was all guns, and usually it would be a sampan with 2 or 3 guys in it and maybe 1 passenger, but this time first sampan came by. It's like 8 or 10 guys in this sampan, all with guns, and then another sampan came by with it looked like Buddha sitting in it, a great big fat guy sitting in it, and 2 or 3 guys with guns, and then a third sampan was coming full of guns again. So we recognized that we had a special situation there. So we waited till they started around the corner, and we hit the center guy and then got the 2 end guns. We got them all. We went out and swam out to the boat, and the big guy was gone. He sunk. But we got all his paperwork. He was a Russian instructor teaching them how to shoot 122 missiles off of bamboo launching ramps. Had all of his lesson guides in Russian there. He had like a New Testament with Lenin's preachings on them. And he had a giant, beautiful hammer and sickle red satin flag with a gold hammer and sickle on it. So that was probably our best hit ever. So, but that was, we didn't have any intelligence. We just knew that they were going to be working that night.
Yeah.
And we got that guy. So.